Welcome to Knights of Mandalore. I am Jared.
And I'm live.
And oh boy, what a freaking Bad Batch episode.
Yes.
I'm going to tell you right now, 10 out of 10.
10 out of 10?
Right now, this show has been firing on all cylinders and it's been the bane of my existence. So anyway, I wrote up a couple of notes of some scenes that I wanted to talk about that I felt were either humorous or pretty badass. But lad, what do you think so far? General thoughts?
9 out of 10 because no Martez sisters in this episode.
You had to do that, lad.
I thought it was really great. It was a really exciting episode. We're gonna break it down into a few points. I'll let you do like that main coverage part, but hit a lot of really good moments for like the halfway through the season. Had a lot of things we can discuss. There's gonna be a lot of discussion about it.
So the first part I want to talk about is apparently Wrecker is a terrible parent for teaching Omega how to defuse a bomb and not telling her it was a smoke bomb. That is freaking, that is not a good move, bro.
I was like, oh no, it's gonna blow up.
I was like, no, it's just a smoke bomb, and he's laughing, and I'm like, oh, you.
Yeah, that was kind of funny in the beginning there.
Yeah, that was really good. I like how she's a member of the Bad Batch now, to the point where I'm wondering if they're gonna give her own like tiny Bad Batch armor.
That'd be so cool. I feel
like Boba had in the Clone Wars.
Yeah, exactly. Boba had a mini costume. I feel like she would want one. Like she's kind of like a fangirl of the Bad Batch.
Yeah, she has her little action figure that she reskinned. She has the Bad Batch Fortnite skin.
Yeah. But okay, I gotta interject here while we continue. While we go through this linearly.
Go ahead.
What do you think about the Bad Batch show? How every episode kind of picks up where the last one ended, so it's more continuous. So they were on the Braca last episode, and now we're like still there. So instead of just cutting away to some random new place, where it's more of like a continuous story. How do you feel about that compared to say Clone Wars?
I like it because here's what I have to understand about Clone Wars compared to Bad Batch. Bad Batch is more specifically focused, where Clone Wars, there's a lot of stuff that happened during the Clone Wars. With Bad Batch, they're telling you we're only talking about the Bad Batch. Even the Crosshair episodes still count because he's, as far as we know, still a member of the Bad Batch.
Yeah, that's true.
I definitely like how it's telling one continuous narrative about this one Clone Commando squad.
Right. I agree with that also. It's kind of because we all really want, that Clone Wars sequel show. And this has, a lot of the elements of Clone Wars. And, this does fill a lot of those requirements, but it is focusing on the Bad Batch. And I think we all started off with caring more about Clone Wars sequel than the Bad Batch. But now we're actually really enjoying the Bad Batch as their own Star Wars characters, and I want to see their story.
Did Rebels have more general episodes? Because I'm pretty sure at least one of the Ghost Crew is always in an episode at least.
Right. It always focused on the Ghost Crew. Pretty much all of them were in every episode, unless they split off into two groups. So Rebels definitely did the thing where kind of like how it is with Bad Batch, where they focused on specifically them. They brought other characters in, like when they brought Rex back and Ahsoka. Tarkin,
awesome.
But it was always focused on what the Rebels did. They never had an episode where they're focusing on, separate tales of what's going on with the rebellion or anything. So Bad Batch is definitely taking that more family structure, like they had their family crew. They're definitely doing that.
All right. So then Crosshair shows up with a badass squad of clones and his own little private squad. All the guys in the black armor. That is the coolest standard clone trooper armor I've ever seen.
Yeah, that's pretty sick. That looks kind of Death Trooper-y.
Exactly. That's what I'm thinking. Are these like the predecessors to the Death Troopers?
You have to wonder.
That'd be a good question. It's like they have the all black armor, like the greenish visor.
Yes.
Even they're carrying like more specialized blasters. So I'm like, oh man, you really don't want to be associated with clones, do you?
Right. I thought something that kept something that I was reminded of is that when Crosshairs is cornering them, that like I feel like Crosshairs is evil, the Empire, but then I have to remember that like it's not his fault. Like he was kind of like cold before, but he was a good. It's not his fault. He's being mind controlled. So I gotta remember that we can't we don't want him to get beat up. We want to
even Omega. Him, even Omega says that she's like, yeah, I told you this when we were in the cell. You're being controlled by the chip.
Right.
So yeah, but I liked how apparently Crosshairs brought like a lot of clones.
Mm-hmm.
Like, geez, someone's overcompensating.
Yeah, he definitely did not. I mean, he knows who he's messing with, and I like how he used their own plans against them,
Yeah. So next thing I want to talk about, I want to know your thoughts on. So apparently the Kaminoans were the ones hiring the bounty hunters.
That's kind of interesting. They were an option, but we weren't sure about it. But now we got that clear reveal that they are in fact hiring the bounty hunters. I thought that was pretty cool that they were doing that. And also to see that the Empire is kind of really getting into their territory, and Lama Su is like we gotta move fast, and we can't wait around because they're gonna get taken out by the Empire. We need to recover Omega. So Omega is important. Like they really, that's the Prime Minister of Camino saying that they need Omega for something. So we kind of have to be reminded, she is more important than she seems.
And they mentioned contingency plans.
Right. Yeah. Right.
Which I think the contingency plan starts with clone and ends with rebellion.
Yeah.
Because think about it. Maybe they have programmed it to the clones and off switch for that inhibitor chip. Wouldn't that be interesting? And
That'd be pretty cool.
So if the Empire ever screwed them, they could go, well, you don't have your army anymore.
Yeah. Hey, it's definitely possible.
So then we have that really great face off between Crosshairs guys and the Bad Batch in that artillery bay, where their way out is they fire an artillery gun, and because these ships are like really weak, like debris is falling.
Yeah.
Which leads to my my fifth point. I have to move into this because they're pretty much right after each other. To easily the funniest part of this episode, where the Death Trooper, I'm just going to call them Death Troopers now, with the flamethrower shows up and Wrecker just throws the torpedo at it like a football.
Yeah.
That was the great, and the sound it made too was like funk.
Yeah, that was a really good moment. And I was, whenever they bring the flamethrowers out, I'm always reminded of Landing on Point Rain when Kiad-Mundi says, bring out the flamethrowers.
Yeah. But like, geez, and then Wrecker's like, I got it.
He literally just throws a torpedo at him. That's an easy solution, right?
Those things must be really heavy. Jeez.
Yeah.
And that Death Trooper just got up. I'm like, what the hell?
Yeah. Oh boy.
So then also we have that awesome scene where they're trapped in the ship's engine, and Crosshair's plan is, okay, so we're going to activate the engine and like burn them out. So what's cool is what the Bad Batch do is they plant charges all around the ring of the engine, and then like make the engine shield fall with them inside it. And then like apparently Crosshairs gets really burned.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What is it with Star Wars characters and getting burned?
I know, right? He just starts getting fried by the engine, right? Big time. So he's hiding there, survives it. But he looked pretty bad shape.
You're fulfilling your destiny, Crosshairs. Henceforth, you shall be known as Darth Crosshairs.
Oh boy. It does.
You're the chosen one.
It's a reoccurring trend.
I'm like, where have I seen this before? Oh yeah, it actually just happened in the timeline.
Yeah. Yep.
So then we get to what are in my mind my favorite parts of this episode. They get to their ship hangar, and all the clones that were guarding the ship are killed. So immediately I'm like,
no, they were sleeping.
So immediately I'm like, did Ahsoka show up? Because in my mind, what really happened, I did not see coming.
Right.
So I thought maybe Ahsoka, but then I didn't see any lightsaber hits or something like that. So then I thought, is Rex coming back? And then it's like, then Hunter says, okay, so this isn't like the scrapper's handiwork. And then someone's like,
the shots are too precise.
Yeah, he's like, wasn't much work. Then the camera pans. We get this cool Western theme. And then, lads, you want to tell the listeners who actually shows up?
Yep. So we get to see in a slightly updated outfit the best bounty hunter in the galaxy, Cad Bane himself.
I'll take that. That is so true. Yeah, I'm like, oh. I recognize his voice because what he said wasn't much work. I was like, oh no, they did it.
Yeah.
Or more accurately, they didn't do it because there was an arc where actually, here's the thing. Notice in that arc, both him and Boba are shot. We never get confirmation that Cad's dead. We know Boba lived.
Right. There was, for viewers are wondering, there was a planned arc of the Clone Wars where it was going to show Cad Bane mentoring Boba Fett, teaching him so that he can raise Boba up to be like Jango Fett was. So because Cad Bane wanted to prove that he was superior to Jango, and since Jango is dead, he needed to raise his son so that he could say, well, I defeated Boba. So they eventually had a confrontation and they shot each other in like a Western shoot-off, kind of like the episode we just saw. And then we see Boba goes down, Cad goes down, and we don't know what happens. Who walks out of there? We know Boba walks out, but we don't know what would have happened. But that is not canon, and it looks like
Cad Bane it could be canon, but he just didn't die. Because remember, Boba also got shot and was on the ground too.
Yeah, that's true. That it may be an event that's he may talk about it or something, right? Or my current theory is that they're going to show us that storyline, but in the Bad Batch. Like they're going to be somewhere. We're going to see Boba and take out Cad Bane or something. That's what I'm thinking they're going to do.
Here's a theory, and we all know I got the last theory correct. Here's the theory. What if, so whatever planet that arc took place on, it is going to be in the Bad Batch. Here's my theory. I agree with you on that. What if he takes Omega there for the Kaminoans to pick him up? That confrontation happens and Cad Bane does die and Boba lets her go.
That could happen. I mean, that'd be pretty crazy if they do that. They could definitely do it.
Okay, that is officially my theory. Remember, I'm the one who predicted that the cloaked figure is going to be Captain Rex.
That's true. And that was pretty spot on prediction.
All right, so then we get to my second favorite part, and this is special. So Hunter does not get killed, even though he loses the gunfight with Cad Bane. When he wakes up, it's first person, and we're treated to basically Republic Commando.
Yeah.
It's pretty much the game. I was like, oh, this is so cool. I was like,
how do they
They're not doing this. They're not doing this. Oh, yes, they are.
Oh,
it's
man.
like the heads-up display, too. And I'm like, this is so cool.
How do they see anything? I didn't realize how small the POV was.
According to Charlotte, who's the expert, because I asked her that question about the Mandalorians because they have the same similar visor thing.
Yeah.
And she goes, actually, when you're in it, it actually looks, it actually gives you a pretty panoramic view.
Oh, okay.
Either that or they have helmet cameras, tiny cameras that show you what it is. Because in Halo, one of the helmets does not have a visor. It just has exterior cameras that show you what's going on.
Ooh, okay, cool.
At least that's my theory.
Yeah.
But so what did you think of the Republic Commando visuals?
It looked pretty cool. I was actually thinking hey, this looks kind of sick. That zoom in kind of focusing on the POV. That was cool.
Now, here's another question. What do you think of Cad Bane showing up? Did you see this coming?
I didn't. I didn't. It's kind of crazy because we talked about maybe him showing up. We talked about that, right? Like characters we want to see show up, but I didn't think it was gonna be so soon.
Yeah, because his death, air quotes, was in a Clone Wars arc. So we thought if he died, it was during the Clone Wars show.
Right.
But it's like, nope. Yeah. Did you recognize his voice when he goes, wasn't much work?
Oh man. I don't know what, I'm not really sure. And they just started painting up, and I realized
as soon as I saw the two blasters on his side, I was like, oh my gosh.
It was
and
really...
then Toto shows up. He's fighting Omega with his foot.
Yeah.
That droid is so great. But yeah, Cad freaking Bane. So let's do a quick recap on Filoni's Star Wars real quick. We've gotten Boba Fett, Luke Skywalker. We've gotten Ahsoka Tano. We've gotten Captain Rex in Bad Batch. We've gotten Cad Bane in Bad Batch. Mm-hmm. Keep doing it, Filoni. Keep doing it.
I mean, they're it's going pretty good, I mean, they're doing some really impressive things. We're only halfway through. So, I mean, it's pretty good development for the story, in general, like the direction they're heading in, because we're kind of seeing a bit more of what is the Bad Batch trying to do? What's their purpose? Because, they had that opportunity to go with Rex. And in this episode, Echo says again, hey, we could have gone with Rex and we'd clear all our debts. We won't have any debts. Why don't we go fight with Rex? And then Hunter says, that's not necessarily what we're trying to do. And they're trying to see, like, are we going to go out just, are we just going to hide out? Are we just trying to survive? So we're trying to see, we're kind of getting more of a picture of what's going on with the series.
That's why I think eventually the Bad Batch are going to join Rex and be part of the air quotes Clone Rebellion. And then I think if any of them are going to die, it's going to be in that Clone Rebellion part on Camino.
Yeah.
By the way, I really hope so. Since we had the first person part, I really hope they start playing the Republic Commando theme in one of the episodes like this.
Ooh, that'd be crazy.
Hang on. It's this. By the way, this song is actually in Mandalorian.
Really?
It's an actual Mandalorian. I think it's a marching song.
It didn't pick up that well. What was the name of it?
It's okay. It's called. Actually, you know what? I can pull it up on here. Let me do this. Hang on. Public Commando theme. But geez, if they start throwing in Republic Commando stuff, that'd be so good. Like, can they have an episode that's all first person?
Yeah, that'd be really crazy, right? If they switch around between the different POVs all the time.
Yeah. All right, dude. Listen to this.
Oh,
hang on. Is that good?
Yeah.
Hang on. I have to actually find the guitar.
Huh.
Can you imagine if this starts playing?
Yeah.
I'm telling you, dude. You know what's interesting? There's been some thought that Delta Squad could show up.
Really?
And for those of you that don't know, Delta Squad is a clone commando squad from the Republic Commando game. Because as far as we know, they're not dead.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not sure if Commandos had, well, obviously Commandos had the chip because the Bad Batch had it.
Right.
That's interesting.
I mean, that's a good question. That's like, do you think those guys have the chips? I mean, they weren't enhanced, were they?
I mean, Bad Batch did. That's why I'm like, well, like maybe they retconned it that all the clones got it, because my understanding was that certain troopers classes didn't get the chips. They could be more independent thinkers, like the ARC troopers and the Bad Batch. But Jesse had the chip, and so did the Bad Batch guys.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Could it be? Wait a second. Maybe because remember, the Bad Batch were regular clones, air quotes regular, that just happened to be like deformed in some way. It could be that clones specifically made to be commandos did not have the chip.
Mm-hmm.
Particularly if Dave Filoni starts taking more from Legends, because I'm pretty sure that happened a few times. In fact, there's a story about a clone commando squad that thought Order 66 was a separatist trap, so they didn't do it, and then were killed by Darth Vader.
Huh. It's kind of funny.
Mm-hmm. So, lad, where do you think Bad Batch is gonna go next after this one?
It's kind of crazy because, Bane is going to take Omega back to Camino, I imagine, and
which means we'll have at least one more episode with Bane.
Right. I mean, unless it's like they're going to intercept him, mid-flight. The thing is, the Bad Batch doesn't know who Bane is working for. Remember, it's classified information.
They don't know.
So, it's a good question. Where are they going? Where are they gonna go to? Are they gonna go back to Sid? Are they gonna contact someone to help them?
Oh, by the way, quick thing, and this lad made me aware because I did not recognize the planet they were on in this episode. Turns out Braca was the planet that you start off the Jedi Fallen Order game.
Yes, the scrapper.
I did not know that. I was like,
yeah,
that's why that planet looks familiar.
Yeah, and they have all those, they have some of those scrappers around. And remember, we get to see what's Cal, right? Cal Kestis.
Yeah, it opens up and he's on one of those crews taking apart a Jedi cruiser.
Yep. So that's pretty cool that they kind of tied that back in. We get to see it early on.
That's so cool.
So
that is really cool. I was like, oh, wait a second. As soon as Lad sent me the text, I was like, oh, that's where that's from.
Yep. That's good stuff. I mean, okay, so here's the thing. We know that Bane is taking Omega back to the, what's it called? The Kaminoans. And we never saw the Kaminoans do anything like, what are they, they have a reason they want Omega, but it's not like she was kept in a Bacta tank and like they need and she wasn't like on an armed security guard at all times, or she just was with Nala Se, right? So she had some freedom. She wandered around. So it was never like, like complete lockdown. She's not allowed out of her room. She is like, now they're bringing her back. I mean, what do they need her for? Like if it was super important, why they let her
DNA?
Walk freely,
DNA maybe?
DNA, yeah, it could be something like that where they just need her to like be alive. Because remember the problem, maybe that's true, because the problem with killing Django was they said that the cell line had degraded over time and it was becoming harder and harder to clone, to create clones because the initial batch of DNA was corrupted over time. Kind of like how I imagine it being like a VCR tape or a DVD, you can watch it many times, but after like years or something, or many years, the VCR starts to break down, it becomes hard, the disc gets scratched, and you just lose the information,
Mm-hmm.
And that's with the preserving the DNA and stuff, maybe it just breaks down. If you like cryo freeze it, his like genetics are just breaking down. So Omega, maybe their plan is like we keep her alive so we can, get the DNA sample for whatever their contingency plan is.
Yeah, it could be that.
So
there has been some like conjecture that the reason why they want her back is because she's force sensitive. Like they created a force sensitive individual.
That'd be kind of interesting.
That would be really cool. But let me see. Why do I think they want her back? Probably, if I had to guess, she's either force sensitive or somehow they figured out a way to replicate Django's DNA, and she's the new source for the clone DNA.
Right.
And I think the reason why they want her back is because before the Empire gets her, because they figure that the Empire is going to kill her, because you already know that the end result of this whole thing is that the Empire says goodbye to clones.
Right. That's true. That's
an interesting way to think about it. I wonder I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was going to just say how Bane is like a professional. Like he's going to deliver Omega, and he doesn't kill people for no reason. You know, he does his job and he gets out of there, right? So I don't think he's not going to have too much beef with the Bad Batch, you know? Like if they confront him, he's going to fight against them. But he's not necessarily like the villain, right? He's just doing his job.
Yeah, Bane's the type of bounty hunter that only if you like present a threat will he shoot you. He won't just walk up to someone and just go, "Hey, boom."
Right.
Well, as far as he thinks, Hunter's dead. That's what I thought for a second there, until I saw like his chest kind of rise a little bit, like he was breathing. I was like, "Oh, thank God, my guy's not dead."
Yeah, I know. Oh man, that was pretty tough. That was scary.
Now, here's an interesting theory that I have based on watching that episode. I think that the burning, which was on Crosshair's face, is going to start screwing around with his inhibitor chip. Like maybe got damaged in the burning, if you will.
Ooh.
And that'll kind of weaken the effects.
That'd be kind of crazy if it turns out to be
Everything
true.
Happens for a reason with Filoni.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, they were hinting at the Wrecker headache thing for a while,
and it happened.
I know.
The way I think of Dave Filoni, he's like Zack Snyder. He'll put the smallest detail in there, and then it turns out being the key for the whole thing.
Yep. Hey, I mean, it's definitely possible, you know. And we have to see like Crosshairs is, you know, still going to try to hunt them down. So we're going to see how that develops. We have, you know, Crosshairs chasing the Bad Batch, and now we got the Bad Batch chasing Cad. And the Cad Bane's heading back to Camino.
Yeah, there's a lot of chasing in this show.
Yeah. So we're going to see how this all shakes out, you know?
Yeah, exactly. It's a very interesting state of the show. What was your favorite part of this episode? Mine was that Cad Bane face-off, I think. That was so priceless.
That was interesting. I think the Cad Bane moment really stole the show, but I really liked Crosshair's confrontation there, getting to see him reunite with the rest of the team. That was really interesting.
That was great. I was wondering how they were going to do that. By the way, I thought when they were in that showdown, I thought that was going to be the arc where Cad Bane died. In other words, that they were going to replace Boba with Hunter.
Yeah.
Then I realized there's no way Dave Filoni would bring in a character as big as he would have brought in any bounty hunter if they was going to do that.
Yeah.
There's no way he brings in Cad Bane just for to him to get like shot like he's Indiana Jones.
Right. You know, I did think it was interesting. What do you think about how Cad Bane always had a Western, you know, I mean, Star Wars is kind of like a Western, but had a Western style to him, you know, the hat, the gunslinger outfit, you know, that he always had that. But now in Bad Batch, where they reintroduced him, they played that little bit of Western music and made him, you know, have
his costume is more cowboy.
Yeah. What do you think about that? Where they actually made him lean more into what his roots are. So they kind of like gave him a bit more depth to his character. And they played the standoff music and it's like draw, and then they fire. I thought that was kind of interesting.
I got major Mando vibes because let's face it, Mando is the Star Wars Western.
Yeah, that's true.
And they had plenty of scenes where it was a quick draw. Even in Solo, the very end of the movie is a quick draw. Spoiler alert.
That's true.
Spoiler alert, Darth Maul. What do you think the odds are that Darth Maul is the next Bad Batch cameo?
That'd be crazy. I mean, they could do anything, I guess.
I'm just telling you, he's around. We definitely know he's around.
Yeah.
He escaped on the Jedi cruiser.
Yeah. I mean,
but I think my favorite parts are the Cad Bane scene, the commando scene, and Wrecker throwing a freaking torpedo at a flame trooper.
Yeah. Oh,
it was just all of a sudden you're like, oh no, they're trapped, and Wrecker's like, I got it, guys.
Just throw a torpedo at them, like easy.
And just the way it hit this, the sound it made when it like impacted, and the guy went flying foot backwards.
Yeah, that was really good.
That was easily my favorite Wrecker moment of all time.
Oh boy, that was good. Yeah, they all had some really good. But I liked it when they were up on the bridge, and Omega was asking Tech, how was the war like? He's like, it was a couple strategic battles and stuff like that.
He gives like the most scientific answer that you can give.
And she's like, no, what was it like? And it's funny because they all have like their moments with Omega, and Tech doesn't really interact as much with her. And then he's like, it's nothing about feelings. He's just like, the hard cold facts. It was a tactical, bases here and there, standoffs,
I love Tech, honestly, because my favorite parts of Tech is where he goes, Tech, why didn't you tell us this before? I thought it was obvious.
How is that obvious?
That is the best. I love that. Honestly, in the Clone Wars arc where they showed up, Tech was my least favorite. Now he's one of my favorites.
Yeah. No, it's really interesting how they really, when they started off the series, they really improved all the characters and made them 2-dimensional or 3-dimensional characters. The Bad Batch is really fun characters to watch. They all have their own personalities, even though they're all the exact same person.
Technically.
Yeah.
Which I think that's what Clone Wars really did per se, because if you notice, Clone Wars really emphasized that point that the clones, even though they look the same, are individuals. Because if you notice, going into like, when you go and see episode 3 or even the old 2004 Clone Wars cartoons, you really think, oh, they're just the same dude. But no, not really.
Right. No, that's true. They really got that personality traits from there,
And they did that in the first episode where Yoda's there with those 3 clones, and he's like, and they say we share the same face, and then Yoda's like, well, yeah, but you're all still inwardly not the same person.
Yeah, that was really good. That was a good way to start off.
Yeah. But anyway, we're talking about Bad Batch, but geez, this was quite the episode. I just love also how like Cad Bane is just chilling there on the ship, just waiting for Hunter and Omega. He's like, okay, I just gotta wait here and look cool. There's smoking clones, and he's like, Bane, by the way, has surpassed Boba as my favorite bounty hunter of all time.
Yeah, Bane always was super sick. He was so cool. Ever since the Hostage Crisis episode,
I was like, oh, this dude is so dope.
Yeah.
You notice it's been 10 years since we've gotten a fresh appearance of Cad Bane.
Has it really been that long? That's kind of
10
crazy.
years.
That's kind of weird. I didn't really pick up on it's been that long since we've seen him, eh?
So we got a dope redemption for Boba Fett and Mando and Cad Bane. I'm waiting for Cad Bane to not have died at all, and then he shows up in Mando.
That'd be great. They could just change their plan to make Cad Bane still around or something, right?
Let's be honest.
So we'll see.
If there's one character who you think would show up in Mandalorian and or a Book of Boba, it would be Cad Bane. He looks like a Western. You said it yourself.
That's true. That's a good point.
I'm waiting, by the way, and speaking of Mando, for them to have a scene where they're riding on some type of Star Wars horses. Actually, they kind of did do that in the episode with the Blurgs.
That's true, yeah.
They kind of did, but it's like it's not the same. I'm like, I want a gunfight from a horse.
Yeah.
But still, super great show, and we can talk about that later. Now, all right, so let's see. What else did I want to talk about? I'm checking my notes. So we talk about the cameo and hiring. Go ahead, dude.
I want to talk about. We have to mention Toto 360. Cad Bane's
Toto's back, baby.
Toto's back. He was only in, I believe, 3 episodes of the Clone Wars, but it was Cad Bane's little sidekick, and I love him because he's very polite and like kind, but but he's like just he's still chaotic. Like Cad Bane, or they're out for their own stuff, but he's very polite and like, oh, I'm sorry, and like
he's beating Omega with his leg.
Yeah, exactly. I love him. I think it's cool that Cad Bane's like very rough and he's the the ultimate cowboy. He's not evil. He's just doing his job, whatever the highest bidder. And then he has this like little robo buddy who's actually like really polite. I think it's a really great combo there.
I will say, when Cad Bane referred to Omega as little lady, I got chills, bro.
Yeah,
that was his thing in Clone Wars.
Yeah. He didn't he say that to Ahsoka, right?
Yeah, I'm like, Cad Bane's back.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Oh my gosh! Of all the characters to show up in Bad Batch, I gotta be honest, this was the one. This is the last one I thought was gonna show up.
Right. That was really good.
He wasn't in any of the trailers either. There was no indication.
I know. I didn't think it was gonna be. I didn't think it was gonna be so soon. Like I didn't think we already had like all the crosshairs. Interaction. We didn't need to have this either, but it was like a really cool treat.
Yeah. Here's an interesting question. You notice how maybe. Here's a theory for the next episode. Maybe. All right. What if? So the Empire, i.e. Crosshairs, are also trying to retrieve Omega, right?
Mm-hmm.
What if they have to Omega, the Bad Batch and Crosshairs team have to work together temporarily to take out Bane, or to at least deal with Bane?
Ooh, that could happen.
That would be good. If I get this right, I'm going to Vegas tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
I will have ESP for like a year then. But yeah, because when you think about it, common enemy and good soldiers do follow orders. His orders are to bring in the other guys.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, hey, it's definitely a possibility.
And you think maybe soon we'll find out who Omega is a clone of?
Yeah, I know. I really want to know what to do with Omega. I feel like they're kind of trying to distract us a little bit with all the cool action that's going on. But we got to keep an eye on that. Something really crazy going on with her.
Because she's pretty obviously not a clone of Jango, because she's a girl, and every clone that's come out has been a boy. And they wouldn't highlight. And now you could ask, well, they said she's a genetically defective clone. Maybe it's because she's a girl. But they would highlight that more. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I think you're right about that.
They wouldn't be this secretive over who she's a clone of.
Right. Yeah, you're right.
They were just told us she's a clone of Jango that through some process became a girl. There's a theory that she's a clone of Palpatine, which I'm not sure if Filoni's going to go with that, because we just had Rey being Palpatine's granddaughter, and that didn't turn out so well.
Yeah, I feel like it might not be necessary.
I swear, if she's Proto Snoke, I will freak out in a bad way.
I think we're okay. I don't think that will be the case, only because the Empire does not really seem to be aware or care about Omega. It's just something the Kaminoans are doing on their own. Like if the Emperor had ordered a clone of himself or something, I bet he would have, said, told the Empire to enforce and look out for that. Remember when they were at the conference room, the guy said, I don't care about rogue clones or whatever. Just we're going to go wipe them all out. And it seems the Kaminoans really want Omega. So I feel like it's something the Palpatine doesn't know about.
Yeah, because otherwise they wouldn't be so worried about the Empire finding out. So I see what you're saying. Yeah, that makes sense.
Right.
Who do you think she's a clone of?
That's a good question. I know, right? Because they said she is a clone, so that's
important. Is a clone. They said a clone, so she has to be a clone of someone.
Right. So, I don't know. Like, what do you think it could be?
It can't be any of the obvious characters because as far as we know, they've never deposited DNA. So it's not going to be Anakin. It's not going to be Obi-Wan. It's not going to be Ahsoka. Well, it's not going to be Ahsoka because otherwise it'd be a Torguda.
Yeah. I don't know.
All of a sudden she starts growing head tails.
I don't know about that. I don't know what you think. I don't know. What do you think?
Here's a question. Maybe this is a big maybe. It's just like I'm thinking out loud. What if? So you know how Darth Vader is always doing things without the Empire knowing?
Yeah.
What if? Okay, now this is gonna be a crazy as hell theory. I don't expect this to be right. What if Vader, in his grief over Padme, went to the Kaminoans and asked them to clone her so he can have her back?
It's not impossible, I guess, but I feel like it might not be enough time, and it's too soon for it because
too soon after her death, right?
I think it's too soon to do that.
Yeah, and here's the thing. Her cloning process would have had to have been started in the Clone Wars.
Right.
Because the Bad Batch learned of her existence immediately at the end of the Clone Wars.
Yeah, you're right.
We know clones have growth acceleration, so unless she was an unaltered clone like Boba.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Oh, you know something I found interesting? Not specifically with Omega, but if you go to StarWars.com and check out the episode guide for the one with Rex, I forget the specific name of that episode was, but by
the way, I loved how they had the Rex Y-wing that was painted blue.
Yeah, I that was a nice touch, I think. You're right. Oh, Battle Scars. The Battle Scars episode guide. You go to the trivia, and I found something really cool. I always go to the StarWars.com episode guide after the episode is aired. And if you go to the trivia guide for Battle Scars, they talk about how Rex was a Generation 1 clone in the episode. They actually say, like, around what time he was born. So let me see. It's like a couple tabs.
That actually can help here.
Huh?
Is it 5 highlights from Battle Scars?
No, it's trivia guide.
Okay.
It should be titled Battle Scars Trivia Gallery.
Hang on. Yeah, let me see. I'm trying to find it.
Yeah, it should be near the top of that
galleries. There's a Battle Scars episode gallery. Okay, yeah, I got it. Battle Scars trivia gallery. It says tech notes.
Yep. Yeah, there we go. So,
all right, hang on.
Number 3 on that page. Why don't you just pull it up I'm not sure if you have it on your computer.
I do. I'll share screen.
Yeah, share the. Yeah, it should be the 3rd one. Yeah, that's the one.
All right. So, Omega recognizes Rex as a Generation 1 clone. This means he's from the original batch of clones created about 10 years before the beginning of the Clone Wars.
Yeah. So I think it's kind of interesting that I didn't really realize how old Rex was, but that Rex is only like 13 years old, actually.
That's true, yeah. Now, here's the interesting part. That means that Omega was practically just born if she had the growth acceleration.
Yeah, I feel like Omega might be like a natural clone, you know, like she may not be accelerated or something.
That's true.
I mean, we don't know she is or is not Missy. We don't know how long they've been had her around for. But she could be. It could be that she was cloned after Django died 3 years ago, and that, you know, she's growth accelerated, so she's like 10 or something now, right?
Yeah.
So we don't really know if it was before, if they did it before Django and everything died, then she could be, you know, normal birth rate or normal growth rate, but we don't really know enough info. But I thought it was kind of interesting to see how Rex is actually like only 13 years old, or, you know, when Clone Wars started, he was actually only 10 years old. So what? His growth acceleration, it's about double. It's about twice as aged, I think. So he's more like around 20 or so during the Clone Wars, I guess, you know, mindset wise.
Mm-hmm.
But I thought that was kind of interesting. So you can see, yeah, I definitely recommend anyone to like go to the Star Wars series and .com and check out Bad Batch episode guides like 2 or 3 days after the episode airs, and just see what's going on, because they have some nice little bits of information there.
Yeah, I'm trying to find actual information on if she's a clone of Django.
Yeah. I guess we'll have to see.
Here's the thing. She doesn't even look like remotely like Jango Fett. That's why I'm like,
right,
she's most likely not a clone of Jango Fett, no matter what someone's saying.
Yeah. So we'll have to see.
Wait a second. What if she's not a clone at all? That's just what the Kaminoans are saying. She's actually Jango's actual. Well, actually, it can't be Jango's actual. Okay, so wait a second. How long were the Clone Wars from episode 2 to about now?
I'm not. Episode 2 to now is 3 years. About 3 years long is the Clone Wars.
Okay, so Omega's obviously not 3, because I was gonna say.
Okay. Unless she's accelerated from 3 to like 9.
Here's my thing. What if she's actually the daughter of Django? But if he actually had a kid, why would he request Boba?
I mean, I don't know. Like, I mean, she must be important for some reason or other.
I know. Unless they give us actual confirmation that she's Django's clone, I have no idea who she could be. Glad you muted.
Oh, yeah. I don't know. I mean, I guess we're just going to have to see. I mean, there's not enough info, but yeah, you're right. It could be that she just isn't a clone at all. You know, maybe they want to clone her for some reason.
Yeah, it's a good point. Yeah, because I'm trying to see who is Omega cloned from.
Yeah.
Cloned after. There are some people it's actually Django, but I'm not believing that.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's anyone's guess right now.
Yeah, I strongly don't think that she's a Django clone.
Mm-hmm.
The first female clone of Jango Fett. Nah, not believing, because she doesn't even look like Jango in the Clone Wars. Because let me put it this way. If she were a clone of Jango and looked like him, wouldn't the Bad Batch have picked up on that?
Yeah, it's true. The thing is, when Hunter told Rex that she was a clone, or at least what he thinks that she's a clone, he didn't say that she was a clone of Django. Like, I don't know if like maybe he like it seemed to me that he was just saying that she is a clone, not like a sister to them. but just maybe like a clone of someone else or something, or I guess we don't really know. We don't have enough info.
According to a lot of the sources, the series wants us to believe that Omega is not a clone of Jango. Okay. And by the way, fans, in case you're wondering why we're harping on this, because it's really important to the show. This could indicate where we're going. We're just doing a little bit of conjecturing. Okay. It's obviously not anyone alien. I think we would have figured that out by now.
Yeah.
Now, let me see. What other famous human characters could have been cloned or someone? Let me see. Okay, so if we're taking Jango off the table, we're taking Padme off the table. What if, hell on a second, it could very well be Palpatine. Here's why. Palpatine never really told people who Vader was.
Yeah, I guess it's true.
Could most likely be it is Palpatine. He's trying to preserve his lifespan because in Legends, and we know that Filoni takes heavily from Legends, after episode 6, his Force body really just entered another clone body. So he has cloned himself in the past. And stupidly, in Rise of Skywalker, it turns out that Palpatine was a clone.
Yeah, that's true.
And in Mando, when they're when they return to that planet that was run by Greef Karga, they go to that Imperial outpost and they see they're experimenting on cloning.
That's true.
So what I'm thinking is that probably she's a clone of Palpatine. He's trying to keep it secret.
That could be the case. That is definitely a possibility,
Because there's plenty of stuff that Palpatine kept from the entire Empire, like the fact that he was a Dark Lord of the Sith.
Yeah, that's true.
And that he orchestrated the Clone Wars.
Right.
And that Darth Vader was Anakin. All he told people was that Anakin was killed in the Jedi Purge.
Yeah. I guess we're gonna have to see. There's definitely some areas to explore. So we just have to keep an eye out. But we have to think about the big picture, but not get distracted too much because we want to enjoy like the individual stories that's going on here, like as it develops. So you have to see, focusing on, well, how are they going to get Omega back? Right now that's our current question. And I don't think we're getting an answer for who Omega is until like a season finale or something.
It'll probably be what I think it will be. If it happens in the season finale, it'll be the cliffhanger. We find out who it is and then fade to black.
Yeah.
But
exactly.
As far as how they get Omega back, if they don't team up with Crosshair, what I think they could end up doing is calling Rex. Or we could get the Martez sisters again.
Yeah, they make him back. We'll have to see. We'll have to see what they do.
Or here's another thing. Maybe we get another Rebels character showing up. Although, wait a second, they're all kids at this point.
That's true.
Because we saw Kanan. It'd
be
hilarious if Kanan shows up.
Yeah, baby Kanan. Yeah, little Kanan. And I think everyone is about the same age as Kanan, honestly. Or younger.
Baby Ezra shows up.
Yeah, like actual baby Ezra. So I think we can't rely on any of them.
Dude, Orn Free Ta shows up and saves the day.
Exactly, yeah.
Oh wait, Bo-Katan. What if they run into Bo-Katan?
Yeah.
Honestly, at that point, if she shows up, it wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah. Oh man.
Although, I got a great idea. What if, here's the theory, what if they get Omega back, but they have to hide from the Empire? They go to Mandalore, the Empire shows up, and then we get the Mandalorian Purge because they provided aid to the Bad Batch.
Maybe they could tie in something like that.
Well, then again, the Mandalore does have a crap ton of clones on it. Actually, it could be that they covertly land, and then they're discovered later, and then they get purged.
Mm-hmm. There's a lot of really good options.
There's so many ways this could go. That would be super epic.
Boy.
I swear, I'm waiting for Baby Din Djarin to show up. Actually, he would be a kid at this point.
Yeah, kid Din Djarin. That'd be pretty crazy. Oh boy.
Yeah, that'd be cool. I swear, if all of a sudden in the Bad Batch I hear someone go, "This is the way," I will freak out.
Yeah, this is the way. And we could see some other Mandalorians, I guess, that are part of that culty thing.
What about Paz Vizsla, the dude with the minigun?
Ooh, that'd be kind of crazy.
And he's voiced by Jon Favreau like he is in the show.
That'd be cool.
So cool. There's so many ways this could go. It'd be so cool. Oh, Grogu!
Wait, Grogu's around?
It runs into Grogu.
Grogu's around.
The ones who got him off the temple.
Maybe.
That would be hilarious if it's Grogu.
Yeah.
He's standing there eating a frog or some fish eggs.
Yeah. Oh,
boy. All right, everyone. We're going to call this episode because it's gone way longer than we normally go on these episodes. And at this point, there's nothing else we can do except conjecture, which I think we've done a lot of that. Lad, always a pleasure. Remember, this is the only show that knows that hand shot first, and Reylo is stupid.
No, McClunky.